All right, what you're looking at here is our 1962 Carmavia that we've been working on for 2 years. It's a big journey, it's a big job. A lot of people think that you do one of these cars and you're gonna get it done in 2 or 3 months, which is bullshit, all right? This car right here started out that it was only supposed to be a paint job. Everything was straight on it. The nose wasn't wrecked, whoopee. Because the real deal is, it's not the car at all. What really pisses you off, what really gets you in the attitude that says is when the owner starts getting on your nerves. Now, we've already seen videos on this car, all right? And I don't care if the owner's watching this video or not, because this goes out to every paint and body shop in the world that can relate to what I'm talking about. The customer brings his car over, and all of a sudden he's real nice and dandy and handy dandy, and he wants the thing done right, and he's like your best friend in the whole wide world. A few months later, you know, getting a little bit testy. Why aren't you working on my car? Because this car was here before yours. But I'm paying you money. So what? She's paying me money too. But I want my car done now. That's why I brought it to you, my friend Pete. Well, you're not getting it done right now. It's taken 2 years because I got other shit to work on. And that's the situation you got, is when you fall back on these jobs like this, off-frame restoration at that. And when I say off-frame restoration, I ain't bullshitting here. You can see that everything on the bottom of this car looks brand new. Brand new, better than the factory. I'm sorry, we even ran a line the bottom of his car for him. And the engine compartment. And the trunk as well. So you can see that doing a restoration like this takes a long time. But that's not about that, because I've told you stories about that and I've been down that road. What the real situation is, do I want to finish this car? No, I don't. I don't really give a about finishing this car. This guy still owes me money. He owes me a lot of money. But you know what? You get to the point when you get sick and tired of hearing him whining and crying, bitching and complaining, moaning and groaning, you don't even want to with it anymore. You don't want to with the car because the owner has made the experience of doing a car like this a fucking nightmare. Now, I can't say every customer complains, even when they have room to complain, like this customer right here that I've had her car here for over 3 years. Way before this car got here, and this guy ain't got no room to bitch and complain, whereas possibly this lady does. Or then if we look at this job here, this 34 Ford kit car that the owners owned since 2002. He's not bitching and complaining. He's not hollering and screaming, whining and crying, because he knows that this is a hardcore, take your time, do it right fucking job. And he's waiting patiently to get his car. So he's not bitching and complaining. But then as we look at this vehicle right here, this is a brand new car that has collision damage on it. Collision damage on the back and the front, which I've already fixed the front. I've already replaced the fender, and all I got to do is polish the bumper. But the situation on this one is this guy doesn't have a fucking wheel lock key to get his wheels off. And this is another situation that says he's mad at me because his car's not done, but he won't bring me a wheel lock, and I am not fucking with his car until the motherfucker brings that shit over here to finish the car out. So when you look at the 1962 Karmann Ghia that has been here for 2 years, I don't know how long it's been here, it frustrates you in ways that says, you know what, fuck you, I don't give a fuck about your car, and I don't want to do your fucking car because you're being an asshole, fucking inconsiderate, and childish little kid about a fucking car. But we can't give up on the car because we have given up our freedom, you might say, over here at SWRNC Prison Farm to take the job on and finish it. So where are we at on the car? Where are we fucking at on this car that the owner has basically ruined the feeling and nature of having a good time and doing it? Where are we at? Well, it's pretty obvious that it is in the paint booth, block sanded out and ready for paint. What I am doing right now is going to start taping this car off so I can go ahead and paint the body. Once the body is painted, we'll then proceed to go ahead and block sand the doors, the deck lid, and the hood to get those painted as well. And then, of course, here is our motor. This is a stock factory 40 horsepower motor that has been completely and extremely rebuilt to standard spec manufacturing qualifications and meticulously and time-consumingly detailed to every last fucking nut and bolt to make it look and feel and ride and work as a 1962 Karmann Ghia should be. If you take a look at that motor, it looks brand fucking new. Brand new, right down to the valve covers and even to the specs of the intake manifold paint. So the real question is does the fucking owner really give a fuck about the time-consuming procedures that it takes and the high-quality work that the body shop owner is giving to the owner? And does he really give a rat fuck about other people in the shop that were here before him? Does he? And will he? We got a guest here that is a pretty calm guy. We're going to ask his opinion about the situation. He's been around here since the car's been here. And we'll get his opinion on it. And hopefully he's not leaning on the car and getting his hands in greasy, okay. Let's talk to him and see what he thinks about the situation of ruining a good thing and making it even worse by having a bad attitude toward the job at hand. So you're basically just an innocent bystander. You come over here, you hang out, you might tinker toy around with my friend Pete and wheel and deal. As you see my friend Pete getting frustrated and pissed off and hollering and screaming a lot, and it's mainly due to what?
Customers.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You need to speak up, sir.
Customers.
Customers. Because customers decide to go ahead and shove themselves in front of everybody else that's been here. Am I right?
Well, they do. And customers are always difficult to deal with. They have expectations, but normally not enough money to pay for those expectations. So they're cutting corners.
They're cutting corners, but yet on the other hand, they want it flawlessly perfect. We just had a gentleman with a 1960 Impala that really gave us the fucking shaft on his stuff, literally. And it was a bad scene. Am I correct? You were here when that happened.
Right.
Was I doing him around? Was I doing him a bad job on his stuff?
No, the work that you did turned out really nice. He brought in parts that he said were paint ready. They weren't even properly body finished or
That's right.
metal finished.
There you go.
And so you had a choice of saying, can I paint over this crap and have an unhappy customer, or can I tell them it's going to cost more money and have an unhappy customer? And you chose to tell them that you couldn't paint them the way they were. It was going to take additional work.
And then, of course, on the other hand, he comes back thinks I'm lying to him and cheating him and ripping him off. It's all about the customer situation over here at SWRNC. Basically, like this guy here. All he's been is testy, pushy, chop, 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 get my fucking shit done. I don't care about anyone else or this car right here.
You know, Pete, I've always found that I have better luck dealing with people in a friendly fashion and listening to their side, and they're more willing to listen to my side, and I can usually come up with a solution that works for both parties. But I found that when people dig in their heels and want you to do things that are crazy, everybody digs in their heels. No one comes out looking great.
No one comes out as a winner. Everybody comes out as the loser except the owner of the car, if the owner of the body shop is still dedicated and willing to finish the job properly.
You know, I've watched people go into retail stores, for instance, and argue with the clerk about a return or whatever, and yelling and screaming at the clerk. The clerk is just there to facilitate a transaction. So what the clerk normally would do is dig in his heels and say, that's the rules, I'm not doing anything. I find if I talk to the clerk and talk to them about what my situation is, they're willing to work with me. Now I have a car just like this, sitting in my garage. It's not finished yet. And you start with a, idealism on how the car is going to come out.
A vision, a dream.
Yeah, and it's going to be done in 3 weeks or a month or 2 months or whatever. Mine's been sitting there for several years. It's perfectly straight. The paint is as great as I could ever hope. It's just a matter of putting it together. But one never knows what's involved in restoring a car.
Unless you've actually done it.
Until you've done it. You don't realize how long it takes to sand a car, how much sandpaper it takes, how much the sandpaper is going to cost. And there is no shortcut to it. If you don't do that, you don't have a good paint job when you're done. And so I think if your customer on a paint job came in and said, gee, I know this is taking a lot of your time. Is it possible that I could do some things that might help you? Maybe run some parts for you. Maybe take things to the soda blaster or sandblaster, or get emotionally involved in the process. You'd be more willing to do extra things for them.
Yeah.
But when they yell and scream at you, it's just human nature to say,
fuck off.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. I'll finish the job. I'll do it to the best of my ability, but I'm not going to do anything extra.
Yeah. And that's exactly where we're at on this. I'm going to go ahead and finish this job, and I'm going to get her done, and it's going to look like a beautiful, high-quality show car that it should be, being an off-frame restoration that it turned out to be, and it wasn't even supposed to be that.
Do you want to talk about the wheels?
I was just going to bring that up. Let's go look at those wheels, and we'll negotiate a situation on that. All right, before John gives us his opinion, I'm going to tell you what the story is on these wheels. When the owner first brought the car over, the wheels were two-tone. It was black on the outside and cream white on the inside, which is factory original. I specifically asked him several times, how do you want to paint those wheels? Do you want to paint them two-tone? He specifically told me several times, why would I want to do that? I just want them painted black. So we went and had the wheels sandblasted. He did not want to pay to have the tires taken off and then put back on and rebalanced. He wanted to sandblast them with the tires on there. It was an extremely excruciating big job to paint these wheels with the tires on them black. He once comes over and sees that the wheels are black and asks, why aren't the wheels two-tone? I specifically told him, you said no, the wheels should not be two-tone. You said you didn't want them two-tone, you want them black. And he specifically says, why would I say that? I would never have told you to just paint them solid black. I want them painted two-tone. Now we have a problem because I am not willing to paint them for free, and he is not willing to pay me to paint them two-tone. Where are we at on that, Mr. Negotiator, middleman guy? What would you say to that situation?
It's too far down the road for either party. That's the case where both parties have dug in their heels. Now, you've two-toned a lot of these wheels.
I've two-toned a lot of them.
It's a miserable job.
Yes, it is.
The masking itself takes several hours to be able to get a straight line in that groove down there.
That's right. To actually paint those two-tone, the reason I asked him is because you really have to paint the inside first,
Right.
because it's easier to wrap the tape around a circle than on the outside.
Around the inside here rather than
That's
on
right.
the outside.
To wrap it on the outside, it would take bam, 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 bam. You'd have to take 10,000 pieces of tape to go around it. So the wheels, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, when I did the wheels on my car, I not only sandblasted them, but I had them chemically cleaned
Right.
because they get rust down in here.
Yes.
And I would never do something on wheels with the tires on it. First of all, it's just not the way you do it.
But that's what he wanted.
I know,
That's what he wanted.
I know.
And then he comes back, let me ask you a question.
You have to do what the customer says.
That's exactly what I did. Do you really think that I would be an idiot, stupid ass not to paint those two-tone wheels at the first time and not listen to what the customer wants? Do you really think so?
I haven't seen you do that before.
No, I never have. The wheels will stay black. The owner will not be getting two-tone wheels. If he wants them two-tone, he is going to have them sandblasted and repainted. That's the only way I'm going to do them. It is going to be a nightmare. Even to take the tires off is going to have to cost him, because I am not even going to paint them with the tires on them again.
Well, I think one of the problems that people run into, and I've restored several cars, and I still run into the situation sometimes, and that is the customer doesn't always know the best way to do things.
And that's not a bad thing to say. That's the truth.
And a good customer will listen to the person who has the knowledge and take that knowledge from the other person.
Especially somebody that's been in business 33 years plus.
And make an informed decision. But I'm aware of the whole history on these wheels. And it's frustrating for you because you're trying to get a satisfied customer out of someone who
Does not want to
is
satisfy.
unlikely to be satisfied.
He's not going to be satisfied.
He's unlikely.
When I get done with the car, he's probably going to find something wrong and complain about it. It's going to turn out to be a nightmare in itself. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay.
And thank you, sir. Thank you for all your input. So now that we've seen raw footage of what the fuck's going on over here, and we've heard from an outsider looking in as well, we come to the conclusion that customers can be a real fucking pain in the ass. Once again, not all customers are that way. I would say probably 1 out of 30 customers you would get in a business like mine is going to be a fucking nightmare. 2 at the same time, all right, that's really getting bad luck and drawing the fucking curtain to tell yourself, maybe I ought to just close my fucking business down because I'm sick and tired of this shit. Dealing with the public, dealing with these people, all right? And I'm not categorizing him, but am I categorizing him? Once again, the owner's gonna have a beautiful car, and if he doesn't like it, then he can leave it. That's all I can say. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, getting the 1962 Carmen Ghia painted. We'll be back once it's painted and take a good look at it and see who got fucked where and how the fucking's getting done.
Did he call you recently?
All right, we just got the Carmen Ghia painted. Now I'm talking about the 1962 Mr. Chop Chop Fuck Off guy, Mr. Get Her Done Chop 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 guy. We just got his car painted. Let's go check it out. Let's see what we got. And I think you're gonna really be amazed. This fucking thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not a concourse restoration. It's not a concourse restoration. It was an off-frame situation that turned into be a beautiful fucking car. Let's check it out and see what the fuck's going on. So if you look right there, there is the Carmen Ghia. That's the 1962 or 3 or whatever the fuck year he says it is. One owner car from Colorado that was supposed to be flawlessly, perfectly straight and didn't have no rust in it, and the nose was never wrecked, and it was a perfect fucking car that we've been working on for 2.5 fucking years. Because it's a fucking flawless, perfect, mint condition fucking car. That's why it took so long. You didn't know that when you get a car in your shop and it's flawlessly, perfectly, 100% immaculate condition, that it would take 2.5 to 3 years to actually restore it, did ya? So the car was not flawlessly, perfectly immaculate, fucking concourse, one owner restoration condition. The car was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare from one corner of the car all the way to the other corner of the car. We painted this bitch inside and out. You can see that. It came out beautiful. I really like the color. I think it's awesome. It's a very, very good example of what an original Volkswagen would look like coming out of the factory of Germany. And yeah, all I can say is I am glad this motherfucker is getting down the road and almost done. So what I did to keep my gloss retention, I went ahead and used a medium hardener for the clear, even though it doesn't really require it. If you use a medium hardener instead of a fast hardener, it's going to dry at a very slow speed and it won't shrink up and give you orange peel. So by tomorrow when I come back, we should only have to nip this to buff it, clean it up, and it'll be a done deal. We didn't get no runs in it. Runs are a fucking painter's nightmare. Getting runs in a paint job is like fucking stabbing yourself and committing suicide. If you get runs in a car, the only thing you're thinking about is fuck, I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight, am I, bitch? Because you're gonna have to deal with it when you wake up in the morning and have to remove all the runs that you decided to put in the paint job of the customers that you're not really making no fucking money at. The best way I can tell you to not get any runs in your paint job is wait approximately 45 minutes to an hour between each coat of clear. What that will do, that would ensure that the paint job is 100% dry before you go to applying any more clear. Now I put clear on very heavy. I put clear on very, very heavy. My 3 coats of clear probably equal anybody else 5 coats. So I use a lot of clear when I clear coat a car, and when I put it on, I go fast and hard and move down the road, get her done, and out of the fucking way. Do I get runs? Yes. Yes, I do get runs. And on this particular car, we don't have any runs. This is a car that would actually look at you in the face and say, guess what, bitch? When you paint me, I'm gonna get runs on me, so you'll have to fix them, you fucking cocksucker. Not today, motherfucker. I hate to tell you. Man won, machine lost, bitch! So there you go, chop, 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 chop again, and chop, chop this.
Chop, chop, man, come on.
As we say, I did you a fucking square, don't do me a fucking round, you motherfucking cocksucker, bitch!
Chop, chop, man, come on.
It's looking good, it's a fucking done deal. Color sand and buff, we got the doors to paint, we got the hood to paint, we got the trunk to paint. And we got the 40 horsepower motor to install back into the fucking car. And then guess what? My friend Pete is done. I don't have to do any more work on this car because my job has completed itself and I have fulfilled another person's dream in restoring a vehicle that says, I want SWRNC to do it. Am I happy? Am I happy? Yes, of course I'm happy. I'm happy that I can get down the road and work on other fucking jobs. Jobs that were here way before the fucking Carmen Gia.
Chop, chop, man. Come on.
Such as this job right here that should be in the paint booth and not the Carmen Gia. So enough whining, enough bitching, and enough complaining. I think we've said enough about the Carmen Gia, and now it's time to say goodbye as I prepare myself to do some block sanding on the doors and the hood and the deck lid to get these painted tomorrow. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, over here at SWRNC, trying not to get runs in the paint job. I'm trying to do the best possible job that I can do and fulfilling dreams of customers that pass through the gates of the SWRNC prison farm and ask me to do what they want me to do. All I can say is one thing. This isn't Chip Foose. This is not Boyd Coddington. And you get what you pay for. I've had this sign hanging on my door for 5 months now, and nobody has read it as they walk into my office. I ask everybody, did you read the sign when you walked in? What sign? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see a sign. Where? What sign are you talking about, buddy? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we'll see you later. I started painting that bitch at 10 o'clock this morning. It is now 6:45 at night, and I'm going home, and I will be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, to get her done. See you later.
Chop, chop, man. Come on. Chop, chop, man. Come on. Chop, chop, man.